Welcome into All Things LA Real Estate. My name is PK Knoll. I am running point on this channel. It is February. We are heading out to Alhambra, Monterey Park for your real estate update. Great neighborhoods over here on the east side. They sit, just east of San Gabriel, Rosemead, kind of on that southeast side of Pasadena. Incredible value in these two neighborhoods. Super attractive from a perspective is there's three metrics I look at just outside of the residential real estate perspective, and that's commercial real estate, schools, and crime. You got to be good on those three areas for it to be an attractive neighborhood for me. And Alhambra, Monterey Park check the boxes in those two areas. Plus, from a logistical perspective, they have some value there, and people are starting to notice. We're starting to see increases not only here in Alhambra, Monterey Park, but their neighboring cities of San Gabriel, Rosemead, four very similarly priced neighborhoods, very similar in aspects of their school, their commercial real estate, the homes available for sale. So we're going to break down everything you need to know. We're going to get into the finances, the numbers. I know it's not the most exciting topic, but if you're looking in these neighborhoods, it is vital to understand what is going on from a financial perspective. So we're going to break down everything month over month, year over year, get you set up to go when it comes to the neighborhoods out here in Alhambra, Monterey Park. Let's go. Now, before we jump into the specific numbers in the neighborhoods, we got to have the rates talk. I'm going to do it briefly, give you some insight. So rates just went above 7% again. We had a little bit of positive news over the beginning part of the year. They just took a little bit of jump. CPI number wasn't great. That just came out yesterday, actually. Jerome Powell's first meeting out of the Fed, they didn't do anything to the rates. They kept them consistent. Sounds like, from what he said, as long as the numbers stay consistent, same thing's going to happen in March, possibly in May. So we're not anticipating any rate cuts until May, June, probably, as if things kind of trend in the right direction, the same direction that they're going. They've been adamant to get that inflation number back down around 2%. As the rates start to drop, the sentiment in the industry changes. Some buyers get back into the market. Hopefully we'll see a little bit of jump in the prices, which entices sellers to get back in the market as that interest rates get closer to the interest rate they've been dealing with, because 90% of people have below a 6%, many of them below 5, 4, and some even 3. So after all that kind of shakes out, we'll have a few months of craziness throughout the specific neighborhoods here on the east side of Los Angeles and throughout the country. But, eventually, hopefully 12, 24 months, we can get back to some normalcy throughout the real estate market. Hopefully they push out some of the private equity and some other things that are kind of going on in the back end as well. But currently out in Alhambra, Monterey Park, we got 24 homes available for sale, only 3 price drops, which is extremely low from a percentage perspective for all the east side neighborhoods. It's because we've had some positive notions. We're going to get into that as we move forward here. But normally, as we saw averages throughout 2023, this number should be around 35. If we can just get back to 2023 numbers. And 2023 numbers were terrible. We had inventory issues all year. So we have not seen that jump back up. Not a lot of people have been putting their house on the market. So we're still about 10 to 12 homes below where we'd love to be, just to get back to even with what we saw in 2023. So hopefully as we move into March, April, May, we start to see some people get back into the game. Minimum price to get in the neighborhood right now is $588K. That home needs some work. Land on the east side for a good neighborhood is typically around like $450K. So you see a home that's just above that, you can probably anticipate that it's small and it needs some repairs. And that's definitely the case here with the minimum price for this home. Maximum side right now, $2.72 million. Average price, we've seen great consistency, not only with the average prices in Alhambra, Monterey Park, but with the median price, because our average price right now is $1.131993. Our median price is $994,000. We do both of those because sometimes the average price can have some outliers if there's an extremely low or extremely high price home. So we want to take a look at both of those numbers, get a better perspective as far as how things are going. But those are very consistent numbers for Alhambra, Monterey Park that we've seen month over month. We do this every single month. We're tracking these numbers. We got to have long-term perspectives. The reason why consistency is good in this number because it gives us strong perspective. If I'm a homeowner, it's one of the metrics I can see. Is my home getting that appreciation that I'm really looking for it to get? If I'm a home buyer, it just gives me some strong insight as far as what it's going to take to get into the neighborhood as far as things go. You take a peek over just to the west. to San Gabriel and Rosemead, the average price is down about 100K here in February, but it's typically around 1.131 as well. But it's at about 1.076 right now. But if you move up, to some of these neighborhoods in Mount Washington and Highland Park and Eagle Rock and Pasadena, you're talking about, averages that are 1.2, 1.4, 1.6, over 2 million. So there's some financial gains, some financial opportunities from a logistical perspectives, and the neighborhoods are fine. They're great. Almost no homeless to deal with in the area, very low crime rates, good schools, and they have all the commercial things that you can really kind of latch onto. The average days on market is 31 days out in Alhambra, Monterey Park. That's incredible, especially for the east side. We've been seeing many neighborhoods jump up to 60 days, 70 days. Locking out of Flint Ridge said 2 straight months with 100 days over as far as their days in market go. So 31's good. 60 is that key number when we'll start to see more price drops, but no danger in Alhambra, Monterey Park right now. So what that kind of tells me generally is that it's just a stable market. So you can assume that the homes that come available that are nice are going to sell. You can assume if you see a listed price that home is going to sell, somewhere around the range of what you see it listed at. So taking a quick peek into February 2023, 19 homes sold, 101% clip. So on average, 1% over that list price. Like I mentioned, stable real estate markets here in Alhambra, Monterey Park. So, 1% over the list price is just a little bit of concessions from the buyers above that list price. We are not going to get to that number year over year, unfortunately, because we have 24 homes available for sale. We sold 19. We will check back on that in the March update next month. So definitely subscribe to the channel. But we got to start seeing some year over year increases. We got to start getting back to some normalcy and get things kind of rolling. So let's go take a quick peek and to see how the year started for the neighborhoods in January, get some relevant information for those of you who are looking. We're going to finish things off with what happened last month out in Alhambra, Monterey Park. Long-term understanding of the neighborhoods, long-term understanding of the financials is obviously vital to getting strong perspectives. But if you're somebody who's looking right now, you got to know what's most relevant, and that's what's most recent. That's why we always take a quick peek to see what last month's statistics are telling us. So we get into January. 18 homes sold at a 99% clip. So once again, we're flirting right at that list price number, right? It was on average 1% below. So a few people on average were taking some concessions and taking offers below their list price, but not with huge dramatic aspects. So what that tells me, if I'm a home buyer looking in this neighborhood, is what you see is what you get. So if I see a home that's attractive, it's listed for that average price of 1.131, I know I could probably come in and make an offer right around that list price and have a good strong potential to get my offer accepted. It is a 38% drop month over month. We had a hot December in Alhambra, Monterey Park. A lot of people wrapping up deals. We're not too crazy on that. 18 is pretty solid if you look at it historically when it comes to a January month. January is always a little bit slower. You don't have a lot of people prepping their houses in December over the holidays to get them sold. So we're not going to freak out over a 38% number. It's not a great thing to kind of see, but like I mentioned, it's still a pretty solid number, all things considered. Minimum sold last month was 380K. That was just land, as I've kind of, reiterated, you're not going to pay 388K to live anywhere in Los Angeles unless you're going 100 miles east of here. Maximum, we had a sale for 1.837. We're not seeing a lot of sales on the very top end in any neighborhood. Generally, that's why locking out of Flint Ridge is dealing with 100 days in the market. Average home price out there is 4.4 million. Average sale price 2.7. The bottom line is, the higher you get in price, the harder it is to find somebody who can afford a 7% interest rate. We're seeing that in every neighborhood, but that's why Alhambra, Monterey Park, and San Gabriel, Rosemead to the west here are so attractive, is because you can get something, for $900K, for $1 million, for $1.1 million that you can't get in some of these other neighborhoods, and you're still getting all the things that you need as a home buyer, as far as living somewhere safe where you can raise your kids, where you can go for a walk, where you can go to the store and feel comfortable about it. And Alhambra, Monterey Park is providing all that stuff. The average 866 594. That is the lowest, lower than all of 2023. So a very low number. Obviously, we have that outlier of 340K, but if you look at the median, 877, 500. So the average didn't really bring it down too much, but opportunity. That's what it screams to me, is just opportunity from a logistical perspective. Nothing has gone wrong. Nothing, sometimes you see price drops in a neighborhood. Sometimes you see, average prices drop because something is happening bad in the neighborhood. That's not the case. It's the markets affecting the neighborhood, not the neighborhood affecting the market. So, I see opportunity. If I'm adamant, I want to buy a home here in 2024. This 7% interest rate scares me. I've been looking in Highland Park. I've been looking in Eagle Rock. I've been looking, in Pasadena, and I just can't afford it. I'm on the fringes, and it's just taking on too much, as far as my income goes to get into these neighborhoods. Take a peek down at Alhambra and Monterey Park. The schools are solid. If you can muster it for 5 to 7 years, you're going to get appreciation off that home, and there's opportunity. And I'm telling you, you're just not going to have like the negative perspectives as far as assuming, because of the ticket price being lower, that there's some issues in the neighborhood. That's just not the case currently going on. Now, 17 days was the average days on market for the sale. So what that tells me is those homes that sold, a lot of them sold quickly, because when these attractive homes become available, especially when they're 900K, when people just like put the tier to 999,999 as far as only being able to afford homes under $1 million, and then they see a nice home, they go to the neighborhood and they're like, oh, this is nice. There's people walking around. It's safe. It's clean. And they jump on that stuff. So my biggest piece of advice for you right now is, if you're even flirting with the idea of purchasing a home, whether it's in Alhambra, Monterey Park, or anywhere in the country, get with an agent now. Do it, because you don't want to find the right house and then have to go through and talk to a lender, and then have to go through and talk to an agent, because by the time you get through all that stuff and then you make that offer, most of these attractive homes at a good financial point are going to be gone. January of 2023, 14 homes sold, 98% clip. So last January, they took some concessions as well, 2% on average, but that's a 29% increase year over year. Most neighborhoods on the east side are still dealing with huge year-over-year declines, which hurts, because 2023 was terrible from a real estate perspective, from a total sales perspective. So 29% increase in Alhambra, Monterey Park is a great perspective from a year-over-year, and it's just because it's actually affordable and they're solid neighborhoods. Outside of San Gabriel, Rosemead, which had a 38%, the neighboring neighborhoods just here to the west had a 38% increase year over year in January. So these 4 neighborhoods are really kind of starting to attract people's attention, and we're not seeing the prices get too out of control in the meantime. So if I'm looking, I'm trying to make a move soon, these Alhambra Monterey Park are on my radar. Thank you so much for watching the video. We do this every single month for almost every neighborhood on the east side. We're doing Pasadena, Silver Lake, Eagle Rock, Highland Park, Glendale, La Cañada, El Sereno, Cypress Park. The list goes on and on. So like and subscribe to the channel if you are so inclined. If you're somebody who's looking to purchase a home on the east side of Los Angeles or sell your home, I am happy to help out with you. Reach out to me. You can send me a direct message online, or all of my phone numbers are listed. Even if you're somebody who's hesitant with 7% interest rates, that puts us in the same boat. It always helps to start preparing for future opportunities, because you don't want to miss the boat there. We will tread lightly. We will look for value, and we will get it done. I also do a ton of other videos. I get into the schools. I get into, the restaurants in the neighborhood. I get into the attractions in the neighborhood. I do some other fun videos like quick cribs. So once again, like and subscribe if you are so inclined. Have a great day. Be kind.
Yeah.